Hey guys, welcome back to Cosplay. This time we're making the Riptire. I had always planned to be Junkrat to go along with Jocelyn's May. And back in 2018, we actually completed most of the costume. We got the harness and the grenades done, the peg leg, and the shorts. But we never actually got around to making the Riptire. For me, I always felt a little bit intimidated by it. I wasn't really sure how we were going to tackle this. I don't have as much experience crafting with foam as Jocelyn does, so I didn't really know how we were gonna make this kind of beveled tire-shaped object. To start with, I made a pattern based off of the original in-game model. I traced it in Photoshop and then tried to print it out to scale. I was able to print it over multiple sheets of paper using a website called Rasterbator, and then I taped them together and cut it out.
When Adam made his pattern, it was very polygonal, it was very jagged, so I decided to trace around it, make it into a perfect circle in order for us to cut it out of the 4 foam sheets that were about ½ inch.
Then I cut out the circles. What do you think?
Not bad.
And sanded the bottom to make a clean surface to barge them together. This is my first time working with so much foam and barge, so sometimes it's difficult for me to cut the shapes cleanly, and sometimes I make a mess when I'm applying barge.
We were trying to get a 2-inch thickness so we could kind of shave down as we went to get that nice little bevel. I took the pattern that Adam made that was the width of the tire, and I subtracted the front and back piece in order to get the thickness of the middle, and that's what I used as a guide to make the middle to reinforce the tire. Feel this?
Then I had to cut 3 more foam strips to go around the outer circumference, and I had to be sure that they were all the same width, so that when we glued everything together we wouldn't have any big gaps or anything like that. I kind of had doubts in my ability to cut them accurately.
Your issue is this one. The measurements were a little off, so I cut that one again. And I also cut another set in order to go on the inside so we could stack it, so we could have that thickness in order to bevel the tire.
Then we glued all the pieces together, starting with the inner ring, and then the outer ring.
And I managed to glue it and cut off the excess.
Then I prepped the other circle to go on top while Jocelyn reinforced the inside with hot glue. And then we finally glued the other circle on top.
Yeah.
Once the base shape was done, I beveled the edge of the tires. We gave ourselves enough thickness within the tire to bevel it in order to get that nice round shape.
While Jocelyn was working on that, I glued 2 more entire foam sheets on top of each other to make a foam sheet the same thickness as the tire treads.
In order to get the treads on the tire, we decided to use the side pattern that Adam had made and cut out one of the treads. From there on, we placed it onto the sheet of foam that Adam had made and cut it out. It was a little difficult. It was a very thick piece of foam, so we had to kind of like saw through the foam in order to cut it out. When it came to cleaning up the piece itself, there was a lot of dremeling involved.
Lastly, I went over them with sandpaper just to get rid of any small bumps on the treads.
When it finally came time to place the treads onto the tire, I used Adam's reference, cut out all the treads, and traced with pen where they went on the pattern around the tire itself. We slapped them on there, and once it was on there, we dremeled in order to blend them in better to the foam.
Then we used Cosplay clay just to fill any small gaps or holes that were left over and to blend everything together. After it was dry, we sanded it again just to get rid of any more rough edges or lumps left in the clay.
The front part of the tire has these intricate details. It kind of has like a pulley system and like a hubcap. So I traced Adam's pattern again. After that, we cut out the pieces based off the pattern. And glued a bunch of them on top of the tire itself.
We weren't sure how to go about making the spikes. We kind of looked around craft stores and stuff like that to see if there was anything close enough that we could mold and cast to make a bunch of copies, but we couldn't really find anything.
I decided to wrap a piece of paper onto itself, making a cone the size that I wanted. I cut the bottom, and after that, that was my pattern for tracing it onto 1/4-inch foam.
And hell is like the inside of a volcano. In many stories, both realms are governed by dominant hierarchies, headed by gods or devils. Monotheists talk about the King of Kings.
I decided to add a 1/2-inch sheet of foam at the bottom and beveled it. After refining it with the Dremel, I finally decided where I was going to place it on the tire, cut out a section wherever it was going to go, and glue them onto the tire.
After that, the basic shape was done and we were ready to paint. We started by coating the entire thing in Plastidip. Then we taped off all of the silver areas and painted them silver. Then we taped off the yellow hubcap and painted it yellow. Plastidip already kind of looks rubbery, so we decided to just leave it the way it was. Up until that point, I didn't actually realize the Riptire was only 3 basic colors, and after that, I was really excited to finally see it coming together.
My favorite part, as always, is weathering. It can't be a Junkrat tire unless it looks dirty and used, and he's a junker, so it makes sense to weather a piece, and I was so excited because it was going to bring the tire itself to life. There's a little logo on the hubcap that says Moto on it, and I decided the best way to get it accurate is by measuring how big it was on the tire, making it onto the computer, sizing it, and then cutting it out of vinyl in order to make a stencil. Once I made the stencil, I airbrushed it onto the tire. And I was very happy with the look.
I spent way too much time trying to make the chain. because it's kind of a unique chain. It's not just like something you can go in and buy off the shelf. It's definitely something we had to make from scratch, because not only is it square, but the sides are kind of also at a 45-degree angle. I decided to go ahead and make them out of a 3/8 wooden dowel, but they were difficult to cut at the right angle. We tried Dremeling it, we even tried using a handsaw, but at the end of the day, the miter saw was the only tool for the job. Even using the miter saw, it was difficult to get a consistent 45-degree angle since this saw couldn't tilt. It took a lot of trial and error to finally get a chain link that I was happy with.
And we're gonna move forward with this design.
Of course, chains are made up of more than one link, so we decided that the best way to move forward making more of these would just be to mold and cast them.
Wow, that smell takes me down.
Then we went ahead to casting. At first we casted using a rigid foam, but we decided it would probably make a lot more sense if the chain links were flexible, so we decided to use self-skinning foam instead. Once the chain links were fully cured, we cut off the excess material and sanded them. Then we primed them with Plastidip and painted them silver.
So at this point, the prop was just beautiful on its own, and I'm like, how are we gonna attach it? If I glue it and I cut a hole to attach it to the backpack, it covers a lot of the work that we did. And I didn't want that. I wanted it to be a posable prop. So the next thing I wanted to try was nylon webbing and some harness clips. I sewed some nylon webbing onto some clips.
And I glued the straps inside of the tire
In order to hide where we were putting the nylon clips. We made the back details out of foam. It was basically like the rim part of the tire. Once that was all done, we decided to try it on. And I thought it was gonna work at first, but it just seemed a little weird because the tire would hang a little back. It was a little too loose. So we took in the straps a little bit in order to get it to have a tighter fit and to look more like he does in game. While we were testing the straps and everything, it all seemed fine until he took it off. There was a lot of tension on the backpack itself. And when we first built it, we didn't build it to have a tire on the back. We just built it as an accessory. Because of that, it broke. And I thought the best way to go about it is to glue the straps down even more and reinforce everything that I could with Dybra. It was a while until we could finally finish it, but I'm very happy with the way the tire looks. I'm happy with the paint job. I'm happy with the way we went about it. There was no initial plan, and it was just like thinking on the spot, what can I do in order to get this tire to be a tire? And I think we achieved it. This tire was pretty much our first collaboration, and I'm looking forward to all the future projects that we have coming together.
I love this tire. I think it came out so great. I'm so excited to wear it. I can't wait until it's safe to go to conventions again so I can wear the complete outfit.
We don't know how to end videos, so we're gonna start like this. Thank you guys for watching.
Thank you so much for watching our video. We worked really, really hard on it, and we're really excited to make more. We're gonna make a lot more videos this year. We're gonna make the Junkrat gun next, so stay tuned for that.
Yes.
After that, who knows? Probably Udavity that's been on the ticket for a while.
Yes. Appreciate you. Like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. Thank you.
Share with your friends. Get the word out.
Get the word out. Tell your mom. Tell your grandma.
Tell your mom, dude.
Yeah, tell your mom.
Call her right now. When's the last time you talked to your mom? Come on.